play the blues? If you can't sing them, play them? Do you have to live them?
No, of course. Milt Jackson.
You got it. You know, it's hard to find a time when Jack Brokenshaw's not working at some facet of the music business. You might say it's a habit, because he's been at it since he was 14 years old and played drums with the symphony in his hometown of Adelaide, Australia. No, he wasn't a child prodigy, just a talented young man who found himself playing with a world-class orchestra because all the professional musicians had gone off to fight World War II. But even in those early years, Jack showed signs of being able to comfortably span different musical camps. In the morning, he practiced with the symphony. In the afternoon, he played vaudeville. But when the war moved closer to his Australian home, 18-year-old Jack Brokenshaw joined the Air Force. "I fought the war with a pair of drumsticks," he points out. He played for the troops all over the South Pacific. And that's where he had his first exposure to the Americans. They had the best coffee and the only refrigeration, he remembers. Well, with the war over, Jack packed up his drumsticks and the vibes that he had loaded on and off planes, across muddy bases, and in and out of trucks so many times, and he headed home to Australia. Home again, he did what he did best. He went back to his music and formed a jazz quartet that played all over Australia. Missing the good coffee and refrigeration, no doubt, Jack came to Windsor, which was as close as the Americans would let him come without a visa. He played Windsor clubs. Well, a booking agent in Windsor booked Jack for gigs in the U.S. on WXYZ TV with Soupy. His TV appearances caught the eye of the owner of the Rouge Lounge, where all the big jazz names played in those days. Well, the owner of the Rouge recognized their talent and took a demo tape to New York. And the wheeler-dealer agents in the Big Apple decided that the chaps from Detroit needed a name with some pizzazz. So the group became known as the Australian Jazz Quintet. They played major halls and clubs across the country, shared the limelight with the likes of Miles Davis, Ella Fitzgerald, and Billie Holiday. Until it disbanded in 1959, the Australian Jazz Quintet was recognized as one of the top 5 jazz groups in the world. But realizing that living in hotels and carrying your life around in the backseat of a Cadillac was no place to raise children, Jack and his wife Shirley moved back to Detroit, where Jack accepted a job with WXYZ and became a regular on Soupy Sales' nightly show. Again, Jack refused to be tied to only one medium. He added a radio show on WQRS and the ownership of a jazz club on Lothrop to his activities. And then he formed yet another jazz quartet. The group played live at the club and on WQRS. In addition, the versatile musician found himself party to a Detroit phenomenon. His vibes, blended with guitar, became an integral part of the Motown sound. Well, over the years, Jack's unique sounds, unbounded vitality, and astounding talent have provided the musical punch to a wide array of products. Much of Jack's production work comes out of the studio he maintains in his Bloomfield Hills home. He's equally at home, however, amidst the high-tech equipment in many sound studios. In music, as in life, Jack is seldom out of his element. His talent, his scholarship, his vitality, his ability to transcend and meld differing mediums are his trademark, and they serve as a benchmark for others in an extremely competitive industry. Behind the scenes or up front, he charms, astounds, delights, and entertains us. Those who know him well have come to love and appreciate his music and its power. 60 years and still going strong. Jazz on, Jack.